what the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV. Welcome back, everyone, for some more SPTV coverage of the Danny Masterson trial. And today was a weird day. More witness intimidation. 3 instances of attempted witness intimidation occurred in the courtroom today. The first one I didn't even tell you guys about at the lunch update because I was so fixated on what happened with Reverend Skip LaRue. Graham Brewer was kicked out of the courtroom. First item on the agenda. Graham Brewer gets kicked out of the courtroom. For those of you newcomers, Graham Brewer is a Scientologist predator who has been showing up to intimidate some of the Jane Does in this case. He did it in the first trial. The court was not made aware of it at that time. They have been made aware of it this time. I've been, calling Graham out pretty regularly on this channel since I started covering the case, the trial last Monday, because I confronted Graham in person in the courthouse on Monday. Anyway, so I was actually shocked that Graham was in the courtroom first thing. And this is even before the proceedings started. And, Danny Masterson, there's 2 rows of seats on the defense side of the courtroom that are pretty much reserved for Danny's people. And although for some reason they don't have to sit there, it's almost like if you're Danny's people, technically you can sit anywhere. But if you're not Danny's people, you can't sit in that section. I don't really understand why it works that way. So Danny's section was already full, which is usual. And all of a sudden, every single person in his section was made to stand up and walk out. I think it's because they didn't want to specifically single out Graham Brewer for everyone in the court. So the entire section got up and walked out. I was like, I know what that is. Everyone's going to come back except for Graham. And that is exactly what happened. People came filing back in 1 or 2 at a time. And the one person missing was Graham Brewer. So there you go, Graham. So Jane Doe 1 finished her direct examination this afternoon, started cross-examination for the last 20 minutes of court. So I'm guessing Graham won't be stupid enough to try to show up in court tomorrow morning either, because it's just going to have the exact same thing is just going to happen. Okay, so that was attempted witness intimidation, number 1. Then number 2 is the incident that I already described in the lunch update, but I wanted to give you guys some more details about this. So, a reverend, a minister, a pastor, a dude walks into court with a full black jacket, the black shirt, the jacket, the white collar, and a big silver Christian cross hanging from his neck. Okay, not the strangest thing in the world, but one of the stranger things to be seen in the Danny Masterson courtroom, the courtroom for the Danny Masterson trial. And there was also a journalist, someone who had been given a press pass and was allowed to sit in the journalist section, who was sitting next to me. No one had seen her before. And many people asked me, did I know who she was? The answer was no. Okay. So, and nobody had any idea that these 2 people were there together. None. That didn't come up until the very, very, very end. So, okay. Leah Remini, I already knew from, she already told me at the end of the day on Friday, we really need to know who's in the courtroom. We need to know which one of these guys are sent there by Scientology. So she was on a little bit of a warpath this morning, like eyeballing everybody and making sure she knew who was who, and then asking them, hey, who are you? And Leah turned around and asked this reverend at one point who he was and what he was doing there. And he specifically said he was there to make sure Scientology's religious freedoms were protected. Which is a weird thing. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, what if someone's on the stand and they say something about Scientology that you don't like, what are you going to object? Like, it's one thing to say that's why you're there, but and that's fine. He was honest about that, but it's also like, it doesn't make any sense though. What are you expected to do? Okay. So there was a point in the court proceedings where, court was stopped. The judge addressed this guy and asked him if he had any affiliation with Scientology. And the guy said no. Except I already heard him tell Sean Hawley, one of the defense attorneys, that Scientology is the one who actually invited him there. And by the way, let me not bury the lead here, guys. I'm going to show you something. Add to the stream. This is a picture of the reverend in question on a Scientology stage next to a bust of L. Ron Hubbard and a Scientology cross behind him. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. It's this dude right here, Skip LaRue. By the way, LaRue is spelled in one of the wackiest ways. That's why we couldn't find him anywhere. Am I messing this up? No, you guys can see him, right? I know it's kind of a pixelated photograph, so not the best one. That is Skip LaRue, doing Scientology's business. Turns out the guy's been associated with Scientology for over 23 years. I'm going to share something else with you here that I found. Someone found it. This is an old article from Scientology's notorious Freedom magazine, a total hate rag. Bear with me, guys, here. I'm trying to finagle all these screens on my one laptop here. Okay, so let me zoom in. So Freedom magazine, this is an old article, but it just goes to show you how far back Skip's been working with these guys. This is some hearing on religious freedom that was being organized by Scientology. And here you go. Bada boom. Human rights testimony. Reverend Skip LaRue, executive director of the Queen's Foundation of Churches, testified on a law proposal in France directed against 173 religions, including Baptists, a Catholic order, Eastern and minority religions. I don't remember what was going on at this time, but there was something going on over there that Scientology thought was uniquely bad for them. And so what they do is they hire these religious figures for hire. Scientology hires them to run around and do their dirty work. Okay, so that all happened right when court ended. Just for the lunch break, I just went up to him and very friendly. I was like, "Did I hear you correctly when you told Sean Hawley Scientology had sent you here?" And he's like, "Yes, I was invited," and we were chit chatting. He was being very open and honest with me. It was a very friendly conversation, and we went out into the hallway and we continued the conversation out there, and I said, "Look, I'm just not sure I actually understand what you're saying. Like, if they say, if one of the Jane Does testifies something negative about Scientology, you're supposed to report that back to someone." And he's like, no, we're not actually worried about any of the details of this case per se. We're not even worried. We're really more worried about the judge's rulings about what testimony she's has said is going to be allowed entered into the case. And I was like, okay, I understand. But then what's the point of sitting here in the courtroom? Like, you're listening to the testimony. And okay, so you don't like the fact that the judge has ruled a particular way, but she's already ruled that way. There's nothing you can do about that sitting in the courtroom. And based on how she's ruled, the witnesses and the victim, the Jane Does, are going to be testifying and saying what they want. Like, what are you supposed to do about it? I just don't understand. And we were in the middle of that conversation. By the way, it wasn't heated in any way, shape, or form. Okay. And then that mystery journalist that I mentioned a moment ago, the one that nobody knew who the hell she was, she walks up. And all I saw was her press badge. I didn't say what her press badge said. I was like, oh, because I was taking Reverend Skip LaRue at his word that this is just, something being done under the banner of religious freedom. And it really had nothing to do with Danny. And it's got nothing to do with this case. He's like, I don't really care what happens in this case. I'm just, religious freedom, da, 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 da. I was actually kind of sympathizing with the guy. And then this woman walks up and I go, oh, and I figured, oh, you're like a religious freedom writer, and he's like the guy that walks around with the costume and everything. And she goes, I'm a blogger with Stand League. And my reaction was, and Leah, by this time Leah was next to me. We were both talking to these guys at the same time. My reaction was, oh, Stand League. Oh, so you're with the Church of Scientology's hateful propaganda arm, and you lied to the judge. I said, you effing lied to the judge. You're here with her. You guys are together. You're here with Stand League. I'm like, you are here with the propaganda arm of an effing cult. Like, and so that's and then by that time the bailiff had heard me raise my voice a little bit, and he heard me say the F word, and he was like, oh, sir, respect the court. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And now what I didn't know, by the way, the jurors all get excused from the courtroom before everyone else gets excused from the courtroom, so that they have less of a chance of hearing any conversations about the trial. Apparently what happened is some of the jurors were still in the elevator area waiting. The elevators take forever in this place, guys, waiting to get the elevator down. And some of the lawyers, both on the prosecution side and on the defense side, had noticed that there were some jurors who at least overheard this conversation where Scientology was mentioned and the word cult was mentioned. And so, wouldn't you know it, when court starts back up again at 1:30, the defense took up 40 minutes trying to get a mistrial ruled that it had just gone too far. Scientology has been dragged into it too much. And because I actually skipped over something else that happened this morning. But it's too late. We'll get back to that in a moment. He goes, look, after everything the jury has heard about Scientology stalking and harassing and alleged witness intimidation and all this stuff, for this to happen right here and this argument, this little, they kept calling it an altercation. It was certainly not an altercation. Unless I just have I thought altercation meant like a physical thing. No, it was just, some loud words. And when I say loud words, I'm probably talking in this video as loud as I got in the hallway, which is just louder than the whispers that people normally use in the hallway. You know what I mean? Nobody was yelling. And so, 40 minutes of Philip Cohen asking for a mistrial. And the judge was just not having it, but she was also humoring him. I mean, this judge is extremely patient at the right times. Like, I couldn't believe how much patience she was showing. So much patience. She's like, you know what? Here's what we'll do. We're going to call all of the jurors back in. And we're going to find out how many people heard anything. And then we're going to talk to them one at a time. Anyone who said they heard anything, we're going to bring them back in one at a time. We're going to ask them exactly what they heard, what they think they heard, whether they saw who said it, and that's what they did. They brought the jury in. Hey, who heard anything at all? 4 hands went up, everyone, one at a time. What did you hear? And interestingly enough, each one of them heard something different. And each one of them heard something different, and each one of them, it actually, here's what they said they heard. Most of them said it was something like this: you're here with someone who hates Scientology. And that's interesting, right? Because if that's what you think you heard, it sounds like a Scientologist said it. And yet that's actually the opposite of what was happening. It's weird. Perception is weird. People thinking, actually knowing what they, thinking they heard something different is weird. Memory is even more weird. So anyway, after the judge interviewed all the 4 jurors individually, one at a time, she's like, yeah, this is nothing. And she's like, hey, just a reminder to everyone, very important not to have conversations relating to the trial in the presence of the jury. I got to be honest, it didn't even cross my mind. We don't run into jurors, really. I mean, you run into them in the elevators, up and down sometimes, especially when you're coming into the courtroom. But other than that, they're sort of out of sight, out of mind. Like when we take a break, the jurors are not there. The jurors are somewhere else. Anyway, so that hadn't even crossed my mind. In the first trial, Philip Cohen asked for a mistrial probably 16 times. And he hadn't even asked. This might have only been the second time he's asked for a mistrial, and we're at day 6 of the proceedings, but there was an entire week of jury selection. He didn't ask for a mistrial even once. So, I guess I gave him the opportunity that he wanted. It didn't go anywhere. So let's see. Yes. And those guys didn't come back after lunch, except, and this is the next instance of attempted witness intimidation, because at this point, Jane Doe 1 she's the one testifying. She now knows that reverend, because remember, I promise you, during the break, she found out that the reverend does in fact work for Scientology, and that the woman that was there sitting directly behind him is a hate blogger from Scientology's front group called Stand League. Stand League is a front group Scientology created to attack ex-Scientologists. And so I ask you, what are the Jane Does supposed to think when Scientology's propagandist hate blogger is sitting in the gallery of their trial? Is that not witness intimidation? And so with 20 minutes left in the day for court, Jane Doe 1 finished her direct examination, and Philip Cohen started his cross-examination. The second the DA rested his case, not rested the case, no more questions for Jane Doe 1. Boom, the blogger walked right back into the courtroom and sat down right in Jane Doe 1's eyesight. That is freaking witness intimidation. This case isn't about Scientology. It's about Danny Masterson. So what is Scientology's hate blogger doing there? And why is she allowed to be there? And I have to say that when it was brought up after lunch, when it was brought up after lunch, Philip Cohen's trying to get a mistrial. They were talking about this whole reverend thing. No one informed the judge that we learned as soon as we left that courtroom that the guy really is working for Scientology. No one informed the judge. By the way, judge, it wasn't just, oh no, there was a kerfluffle in the hallway. The guy lied to you in open court. He said he had no affiliation with Scientology. He's been working for Scientology for 23 years. This guy lied to you. That was not mentioned. I promise you it will be mentioned first thing tomorrow morning. Okay. And of course, the other attempted witness intimidation isn't something that it was attempted today, but it was taken up today because it was happening on Friday. And that's Scientology's attorney, Vicky Podboreski, who represents every Scientologist related to the Danny Masterson attacks. Every single Scientologist is represented by Vicky Podboreski. She was there in court on Friday, again, sitting right in Jane Doe 1's line of sight, making faces and, flipping her hair or whatever, but of disbelief, like, right in Jane Doe 1's line of sight. And so that was taken up. So you had all of these things happening today. It's amazing that in the midst of all this, they actually completed direct examination for Jane Doe 1. Okay, so I do have some actual notes regarding to the testimony. So let's cover a little bit of that, and I will definitely get to the comments after I finish this. Jane Doe 1 spent a really good amount of her testimony today talking about Sea Org member Julian Schwartz and how he, I'll say, manipulated her into, like, gave her very explicit orders on what words she was allowed to use in her reports, what words she wasn't allowed to use. She wasn't allowed to say the R word. She wasn't allowed to make any mention of a firearm. And she wasn't allowed to make any mention of the fact that in the midst of the attack, when she reached in the direction of the firearm that Danny had presented to her, her intention was to shoot him. He said, you can't put that in the report. You cannot put something in a report that is a crime or admission of a crime. Now you might go, it's not a crime to want to shoot someone that's attacking you. I understand. It was just an interesting example that she gave, where she said of Julian dictating what could and could not be in the report. It's also the first time that I understood why this specific report was being written with Julian's help in the way that it was being written. Jane Doe 1 was dealing with Julian as Scientology's advanced organization in Los Angeles. There was a certain types of reports that she wrote, the purpose of which were to put the information about what happened into her own folders, her own auditing file, her own ethics file. That's AOLA, the Advanced Organization of Los Angeles. Celebrity Center's like a different world. And so once Jane Doe 1 wrote all the reports that were necessary to, like, take care of her own business, the next obstacle the next thing they had to accomplish was, how do we export all of this info from AOLA and get it over to the world of the Celebrity Center in a way where it's going to land? And that is why, that was the point where Julian was like, in order for us to send this report to Cece about what happened, it can't have this word. It can't have that word. You can't talk about that. And it was that report, a copy of that report, that very sanitized report, that ended up being given to the LAPD. And what was interesting is that that's why a lot of this Scientology testimony is actually needed. Because the defense, of course, wants to take this report that's on file with the LAPD and say, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention this. Well, now we have to have someone explain why this report wouldn't have those things. And in order to explain that, you have to be able to explain an awful lot of Scientology. By the way, as soon as Jane Doe 1 finishes her testimony, like she finished the direct, now she's on cross, she'll do redirect, recross. Right when she's done, we get Claire Headley. And I think that's one of the reasons they wanted to do it in this sequence, is so that right after Jane Doe 1 got done testifying to all this Scientology stuff, then Claire Headley comes and gives some expert testimony on the Scientology subject to really, like, cement in and hammer home everything that Jane Doe 1 just got done testifying to. So that was pretty cool. I just love Julian is probably one of the biggest criminals in Scientology. And when I say criminal, I mean covering up, has assisted in covering up more crimes against children, against the elderly, against Scientologists, Scientologist on Scientologist crime. Julian Schwartz is like the clearinghouse for Scientology crimes in Los Angeles. And I'll be honest, I really enjoy hearing his name discussed in open court. This is where David Miscavige's name came up in court today, because Jane Doe 1 explained, because she was asked, is there anything missing from this report that was given to the LAPD? And she said, yes. They said, what's missing? She said, the entire top section of the report in Scientology that says who the report was sent to and who was copied on the report has been removed. And he said, why did you remove it? And he goes, well, I wanted to protect all those people. I wanted to give this information to the police, but I knew the more I protect, like if I thought I was protecting everyone on the top of that report so they wouldn't get dragged into it. And I did that hoping that it would help me not get declared a suppressive person, even though technically by turning in this report to the LAPD, by going to the LAPD, by reporting Danny to the police, I'd already committed a suppressive act in the world of Scientology. I was just trying to, even though I already knew it was a suppressive act, I figured maybe if I protected all these people, they wouldn't declare me. And one of those people was David Miscavige. And she said that in open court. And that was pretty awesome as well. Let me see. Oh, and they entered in her entire 3-page report into evidence. And I cannot wait to see if Claire is going to have an opportunity to testify as to what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? That would be really exciting to hear that kind of stuff getting introduced onto the record. Let me see. I'm just looking through my notes here. Obviously, there was a lot of that was testified to. I mean, most of the testimony was about the attack itself. And I have to tell you, there was nothing confusing about Jane Doe 1's testimony. And I realize we're entering cross-examination. I realize this is the portion where Philip Cohen's going to try to make it seem like she's remembered new things and making stuff up. And all of a sudden your memory's better than it was 10 years ago and all this kind of stuff, and try to get her in contradictions. There was nothing contrary or conflicting or lacking or suspect or anything about how Jane Doe laid out all of the details in chronological order. She did an excellent job explaining why certain things were crystal clear, while certain things were vague, while other things were altogether missing from her memory. Just a really, really stellar job up there, talking about, some of the most difficult subjects. I mean, truly, truly incredible. Oh, by the way, here's my note. Priest Skip LaRue, for whatever he was supposed to be there for, was just literally nodding off, falling asleep for half of the time that he was there. So, I suspect that Skip LaRue was only there so that the Stand League hate blogger could just include in her little blog post that, champion of religious freedom, Skip LaRue. It's almost like he's the subject of the article. That's my guess. I can't wait to see if this article comes out. They'll probably do an article about how, violent, angry, ex-Scientologist hater Aaron Smith-Levin, screams at a priest in the hallway. They're probably going to do some sort of an article like that, which I'll do a video about. If they do an article about it, I'll do a video about it. How about that? Okay, let's see. Some of the details of that and that and that. Yeah. I guess that's pretty much it, guys. That's day 6. Jumping over to the comments section now. Let's see what's going on. Oh, guys, we got 3,500 people watching. If you're watching this video right now, please do me a favor and hit that like button. The amount of people who say they don't get notifications and stuff like that, even when they have it selected, is incredible. And I think hitting the like button and also being active in the live chat is one of the signals that YouTube uses to go, oh, we should push out notifications because this video is getting a lot of engagement. Okay. Oh, by the way, I will be extending my stay and staying for the entire trial, by the way, guys. And so, I want to say this again, like I said in an earlier video. If you do super chats because you want to get your questions answered, do your super chats. If you do super chats because you like seeing your name in lights, do super chats. If the only reason you're doing a super chat is because you're trying to help me with expenses for this trip, then don't do it on a super chat, because YouTube takes 30% of the money. You can, if that's your goal, you can send it to me at PayPal. You can find me on pretty much any of those payment platform things by just searching Aaron Smith-Levin or A Smith-Levin. It's pretty much on all of them. It's one or the other. So anyway, just wanted to say that. Okay, let's get to the comments. How long have we been going? 25 minutes? Not bad. Not bad. Give me a sec, guys. I'm scrolling while trying not to kick myself out of the stream. Clearwater Chad wants to say hi. Clearwater Chad, always good to see you in the chat. Clickety clack. Thank you for your hard work. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. I think the church is reaching a tipping point. Yes, I think they've reached a number of tipping points over the years. I think the exposure they're getting on this Danny Masterson trial is one of those tipping points. The LA Times did a great piece yesterday. I haven't had a chance to read the entire thing, but I saw the headline and I saw the beginning of it. I was like, ooh, the LA Times is getting in there. ABC's been covering the trial, doing a great job doing so. So yeah, any exposure is good exposure. Kenny the editor wants to say hi. Thank you, Kenny the editor, and thank you for the super sticker. Jerry Nodine, aka Sarasota Jerry. Never trust a preacher named Skip. Yeah, we couldn't find anything on him online at the lunch break for like the first 20 minutes, and we're like, he's using a fake name, right? Like nobody goes by Skip, right? And his name has this wacky spelling. And that's the thing. Nobody was spelling LaRue correctly. And yeah, there you go. Kenny the editor. Aaron, you're doing a great job. How is the jury? The only thing I can say about a jury is that they are very attentive. Otherwise, it is impossible to read anything on these guys. Total poker players. Total poker faces. Kaylin Caldwell. Finally caught my first live. Loving your coverage of the trial. Kaylin, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it has been really nice to see a lot of faces. More and more people have been coming out to the courthouse who watch the channel, who say hi. By the way, if always say hi to me. You can never not say hi to me. It's always okay to say hi to me. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot more faces in the courthouse, and I think we got some extra special guests coming tomorrow and Wednesday. So welcome to the live. Welcome to your first live. All right, I'm scrolling on down. RV at the beach. The shirt makes your eyes pop. It might be the shirt, or it might be the new position of these lights just blasting right into my eyes. One or the other. Thank you for the super chat, RV at the beach. Rural SD lawyer. At a fast food place in my rural South Dakota town, the name tag of the young man who assisted me said, "AA Ron." He saw me looking and said, "Yep, SPTV." No way. No way. I hope you all understand that we are entertained, but we also really care. That is incredible. I mean, I'll tell you, while I have been here, I have been approached by people who said, "I really love the videos that you do." And we were not in the courthouse. Meaning if I get approached in the courthouse, of course I expect that. I've been telling people to come to the courthouse for weeks. But it's happened a couple times in places I wouldn't have expected anyone to come up to me. So it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. All right, let's see. Dave Owens, here's to help cover your costs while you're doing your SPTV coverage. You're absolutely killing it. Keep on going. Well, thank you very much, Dave. I very much do appreciate it. I appreciate seeing you here in the chat all the time and all your super chats and your super stickers. And thank you very, very much. All right. God, my scrolling fingers are not doing a very good job right now. Okay. Kaylin Caldwell. Hey, very off topic. What does your laundry that Leah did for you smell like? I'm a sucker for laundry scents. It just has that laundry scent. Actually, I don't even know how to describe it. But, you know, I guess I've never ironed my shirts before because when, well, I know I've never ironed my shirts before. I'm terrified of burning clothes, so I don't iron them. And so when I pulled this shirt off the rack this morning, I almost thought it wasn't I was so not used to seeing what these shirts look like ironed. I was like, is that actually my shirt? But yes, it was. So yeah, it's laundry, just laundry scent. I don't know how to describe the scent, Kaylin, but it smells good. Okay, Andy Fabulous. The Scientology attorney is a Roman Catholic. Oh yeah, you're talking about Blinky McBlinkface, Monique Yingling herself. Well, she claims to be Roman Catholic. I mean, is she really? Or is it just something that's nice for a lawyer to say? You know what I'm saying? Liz Turner. Great job, Aaron. Wishing Claire all the best tomorrow. She's the best. I don't know that Claire will testify tomorrow, but I can tell you, I think it will 100% by Wednesday. 100% by Wednesday. How cool would it be if she actually started testifying tomorrow? That would be awesome. Okay, scrolling down. Cat ACDC fan, go. You go with your badass self. Thank you, Cat ACDC fan. I saw some of the reporting on how the interaction went with the Reverend in the hallway. And I'll tell you, what has been described in writing is not accurate. Even what was described in court wasn't accurate. They really make it sound like it was this big deal. It wasn't a big deal. Leah Remini was standing there right next to me. Like, I guess I shouldn't have said the F word. They're not used to people cursing up there, I guess, in the hallways at least. But otherwise, it really just wasn't a big deal. Okay, Dave Owens. Oops, duly noted. It's all the same, Dave. I just, the dollars do go 30% further if we're talking about expenses. It's amazing that YouTube does take 30% of it, but you know what? Without YouTube, I wouldn't have a platform to do any of this anyway. So someone's got to get paid, right? Okay, Calico26. Did you get called out in open court? I read that in Tony's notes. You had to tell the court who you were. Oh, well, I don't mind telling the court who I am. So yeah, at the end of Philip Cohen doing all his shenanigans, Sean Hawley said, I did want to say for the record that the priest is not in the courtroom, but the other gentleman who was involved in the conversation is back there in the green shirt. And I was just immediately like, because I'm in the judge's direct line of sight. She can see me clearly. And so I didn't want her to think I was shirking away from any of this. As soon as Sean Hawley said that, I went like this to the judge. I was like, yeah, that's me. That's me. And she said, sir, what's your name? I said, Aaron Smith-Levin. And she goes, okay. And she didn't even admonish. She didn't even like, oh, I guess legally speaking, maybe it's considered an admonishment. She was like, okay, just remember, very important not to have any conversations, in the vicinity of the jurors. I said, yes, Your Honor, absolutely. And that was it. It was like 5 seconds. So I guess I did get called out in open court, and that's why I'm a little pissed off that nobody actually took the opportunity. I certainly wasn't going to say something out of line or out of order with the judge, but in the process of them doing all these shenanigans and hooting and hollering about what a crazy miscarriage of justice it was that anything was said in the midst of the jurors, none of those attorneys on the DA side took the opportunity to go, oh, by the way, the guy was lying. He was sent here by Scientology. Would have been nice to see what the judge thought about that, but we'll find out. That she'll find out tomorrow morning. Maria de Jesus Gutierrez, are you guys doing the Three Amigos tonight? Due to a scheduling problem on Mike's end, we're going to do our Three Amigos as some people love to call it. That's what we used to call it. We're doing it tomorrow night. We're doing it Tuesday at 8 p.m. Chi-Town native. How ridiculous can Scientology get? Do you feel, and I know you've said before, but do you think Danny knows he's going away? Had problems with PayPal. Oh, okay. No, I don't think Danny knows he's going away. I think he's 100% counting on at least another hung jury. It only takes one jury, you guys. And I promise you, Scientology has already found out the identities of all the jurors and all their family members and knows where they work and are just trying to find one juror with one weakness. It's almost a certainty. All right, Crafting Emily. I'm surprised Scientology didn't try to go down the memory is not really route. I'm surprised. Okay. I'm surprised the SC didn't try to go down the memory is not really route and hire a memory expert. I had a professor in college who would teach a memory class to the jury in an hour that he taught us in 6 months. When you say SC, am I wrong when I thought you were saying Scientology? Because now I'm not sure what SC refers to, but I do get what you're saying. Now, really, I mean, essentially they are attacking the memories of the Jane Does. That's essentially what they're doing. And they're attacking the seeming contradiction between, wow, isn't it amazing that as time goes on, you seem to remember more and more details? Is your memory getting better? Is your memory better now, 21 years after the attack than it was 18 months after the attack? So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just think that wait. He would teach a memory class to a jury? Oh, he'd get an expert witness up there and essentially teach the memory class to the jury with their testimony is what I'm getting. Super interesting. All right, let's see. Gia Falcone. Do you know if or how the court proactively prevents witness tampering, especially in a situation like this where there is an established pattern of it? Well, now there's jury tampering, there's witness tampering, and there's witness intimidation. I'm not entirely sure which one of these you're asking about, because tampering with a witness is more like, well, I guess a witness intimidation would be a form of witness tampering. You can't prevent those kinds of things. You can only try to reveal when it has occurred. I don't think you can prevent something like that. I think the way they prevent jury tampering is by protecting the identities of the jurors. But if you're going to protect the identities of the jurors, then shouldn't there be a secure parking lot in the building so that nobody can find out who the jurors are? Instead, you can follow the jurors back to their parking. It's a piece of cake. So yeah, that's the best answer I got. Let's see. Next one. Sue Allen. Thank you for putting your dukes up for the Jane Does. Do you think the priest could be in contempt of court for lying to the judge? Well, the priest wasn't under oath. So I'm guessing, I could be wrong on this. I'm guessing you could only, well, wait. No, okay. So I was conflating your question with perjury. So he didn't perjure himself because he wasn't under oath, but could he be found in contempt for lying? That's a damn good question. I'll have to ask my attorney friend, Zach Morgan, that question the next time we do a chat. I'm not sure if we're doing a chat tonight or not, but if we do, I'll ask him that question. And if we don't do it tonight, I'll ask him the next time I talk to him. Thank you, Sue. Okay, Andy Fabulous. She says business is business, and that's why I represent Scientology. There's a woman going to spend a lot of time in the confessional. Yeah, I bet Blinky McBlinkface doesn't even think there's anything wrong with taking Scientology's blood money. She's been representing them for like 30 years, and she made a lot of money doing so. Russ T says, you are proving valuable by recognizing some of these people. Go Aaron. Yeah, there is a good value to having someone who does know a lot of these people. Claudia, thank you for the super sticker. John Sostowski, maybe Leah can make a French dip for you. John, as soon as I finish my videos this evening, I'm going over to Philippe's. By the way, people keep giving me conflicting information on whether it's Philippe's or Felipe's. And I've been saying Felipe's because that's what someone in the chat said it was called. They said it's very important that you know it's pronounced Felipe's, but then other people jump in and they go, it's Philippe's. It's not Felipe's. And I don't know, guys, because I've never been there. But I'm going to go there tonight, and I'm going to have one of those French tip sandwiches, and I'm going to ask them, what's the right way to say the name of your business? And then I will know. Okay, JW says, hitting the Venmo. But thank you to Heather and the girls for loaning the internet, your dad and husband, to cover this important trial. I love it. Thank you so much. James Clifford, Frederick Welch. Is Zach going to represent you if Graham sues you? I would go up to the court, although the train was suspended. You know, I don't think Zach is licensed in California. And if Graham were to sue me, I wonder which, like, apparently Graham doesn't live in California either. I think Graham is supposed to live in New York. So like if Graham lives in New York and I live in Florida and he's suing me for a video I put on the internet while I was in California, what's the proper venue for the trial? I wonder. So it would be fun. Like it would be fun to have Zach represent me if it was in a jurisdiction that he was licensed in or admitted to the bar, or however it works. I don't know. Thank you, James. All right, let's see. Another James C. Hey, Ron, thanks for your coverage and holding the line against the Skips of the world. Glad you're staying for the entire trial. Yes, I will be going home this weekend. It's a long weekend, but I will be coming back. Yeah. Yep. Okay, scrolling down. Cynthia. Wait. Seneca. Jane Doe supporters need to take up the space in the sightlines of the witnesses to keep the riffraff out of sight and mind. Totally. It's one of the huge benefits to having a lot of supporters there is you prevent Scientology from doing crazy crap like that. Oh my God, we have 4,000 people watching, you guys. I've actually never had 4,000 people watching on a stream that I was doing on my own. Guys, if you're watching this video right now, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. It's totally free. Okay, Rob AAA. Okay, someone's going to ask sooner or later, have you got that French dip yet? Well, we just covered that. By the end of tonight, I will be a French dip sandwich eater. It's a certainty. I mean, could you imagine I go over to Felipe's and it's freaking closed? That's probably something I should have checked. Okay, imperishable neat. I'm in a bar now, a few blocks away from Scientology building on Hollywood Boulevard. What should I say to the Scientology people on the street and then run away? Don't say anything to them. Don't say, or say, hey, I want my SPTV, and see if they have any idea what you're talking about. But don't tease them or antagonize them or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really do any good. All right. Michelle Moore says, I love that you're there and sharing what's happening. Great job. Keep it up. Thank you, Michelle. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat. Okay. Denver Stevo. So what you're telling us is that you were directly responsible for a delay in court today. Yeah. 40 freaking minutes on top of the fact that a juror was 1 hour late for court today. 1 hour. The entire court waited an hour because this dude, I'm guessing, overslept. And then 40-minute delay for the freaking mistrial attempt. An hour and 40 minutes right down the freaking drain. And they still managed to finish Jane Doe 1's direct testimony. Could you imagine? Without all those delays, we might have even, we would probably have Claire Headley on the stand tomorrow for sure. So anyway, all a bunch of nonsense. Valerie Boljack. This is becoming much bigger than Scientology thought it would. The old saying, giving them enough rope to hang themselves, is really real. Yep, 100%. Thank you, Valerie. Okay, Kathy Mitchell says, Pepe LaRue, the skunk from Bugs Bunny, is Skippy's best friend. Keep up the great work. Yes, that is Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew. Pepe LaRue. I love it. I love it a lot. Okay, so Seneca, pronounced Seneca. Seneca. Okay, I'll remember that next time. Pronounced Seneca. Thank you. Okay, Liam Mullen. Reverend Skip is Methodist. I suggest respectfully contacting Bishop Thomas Bickerton, New York Episcopal area. Well, something tells me that Stephanie Hutchinson is going to be all over that, like white on rice. I think Stephanie Hutchinson runs a blog called Confront and Shatter, a fantastic blog. Her blog, a lot of what she focuses on is exposing a lot of Scientology's lies, but not like lies like, how bad the ex-Scientologists are. Lies about like when Scientology will put out a press release saying that they got some award from this organization or some person or whatever. She'll actually contact those organizations and see if this is all BS. And in many cases it is. And she exposes this stuff and publishes it. She's already done something in the past regarding Skip LaRue. And something tells me she'll be revisiting the issue. And when she does, I'll do a video about it. Okay, Steph Driscoll. My uncle goes by Skip and actually is a pastor. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be making fun of people just because they go by Skip. It just seems so unlikely that this guy's walking into court in full garb. He's like, my name's Skip. Okay, Ms. Below, did you ever get your French dip sandwich? You guys, this French dip sandwich thing is going to become a thing. Mark's got his crackers and his cracker licking obsession, and I guess I've got this French dip sandwich thing going on. It's incredible. I had no idea French dip sandwiches were such a thing. People are passionate about their French dip sandwiches. Did you ever get your French dip sandwich? Happy you'll be there keeping us up to date until the end. Glued to your reports. Also, go see the Young Turks video on Grant Cardone posted 1 day ago. I did get a lot of people emailing me about the Grant Cardone. The Young Turks did something about them. Young Turks is a big political channel. And it's been so crazy the last 24 hours. I haven't even watched the clip, but I will. And I'll probably do a video about it once I have a little bit of downtime. Okay, Nilfinity. I like that name, Nilfinity. What happens if this trial ends with another hung jury? Wish you all the best. Well, let me tell you something. If this trial ends with a hung jury, there's no way they're trying it again. That's my opinion. It's not like I've asked them. But what you're going to do? If you can't convict a guy after 2 entire trials, are you really going to try again? I don't think so. What a horrible precedent that would be too, that he walks. Anyway, yeah, there you go. So KB, non-Scientology Clearwater resident. Thanks for SPTV. Hi, Mom. So I was out at a local bar with a friend last night, actually several friends, and ran into someone at the bar, total stranger, who just happened to, did she say her brother lives in Clearwater or her husband was from Clearwater? No, she said her brother lives in Clearwater, not a Scientologist. I said, what are the chances? I'm like, Clearwater's not like a big city. I was like, how'd that happen? Nothing to do with Scientology. Like, he's like a Green Beret. I think her brother's a Green Beret, and nothing to do with Scientology. Just happened to run into someone in LA who had a Clearwater connection. So there you go. All right. Oh yes, my favorite friend Yak Mayhoff. I've noticed in the last few lives, people have been offering advice on how to pronounce their names. Do I need to offer as well? Yes. Well, I already know how your name is. It's Yak Mayhoff. My favorite Yak. Thank you so much. Steph Driscoll with a super sticker. Thank you very much. Okay, what do we have here? Abigail. Okay, last name Siwanat. Oh, I never would have guessed that. Siwanat. I love it. Abigail Siwanat. Hi, Aaron. Very off topic. Next time you see Leah, can you ask why she posted the Anderson Cooper video on her channel? Seeing Mike Rinder and the role he played on it is very unsettling. Well, when you say why did she post it, you mean like, Leah has a bunch of content on her channel that is just Scientology related content, even if it's not her content. So, if she posted the Anderson Cooper thing, is because she wanted it to get, a little extra play. I don't know. But also, Leah's not the one who uploads the stuff to her channel. Someone else does that for her. So maybe someone else decided they wanted to put it up. You know what I'm saying? But I can ask her. Crafting Emily. Yes, I meant Scientology. And yes, he, the expert, would teach the jury an expert level university class about memory in an hour. Well, nice. Sounds like a good value. As an expert witness, if you can pull that off, that's awesome. Okay, Lisa Floyd, have you ever thought of opening a Patreon account? I almost never catch y'all live, but if SPTV Aftermath, you, Claire Bear, and the Cracker Liquor, Mike, Nora had Patreons, it would be easier to send support. One of the reasons I've never seriously considered doing that is because part of the deal with Patreon is you're supposed to, create like extra sort of exclusive only content just for the Patreons, the people who subscribe to your Patreon. And I'm just not prepared to commit to doing that. Maybe the day will come, but I just don't find it necessary because if someone signs up for your Patreon, what are they going to do? 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks a month? Well, why not just do a super chat for 5, 10 or 15, 20 bucks if that's what you want to do? Now you could say, well, because they take 30% of the money, and you're like, yeah, I know, but it's also easy to do. You just do it. Anyway, there's arguments for it. There's arguments against it. It's just never been something that I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe one day it will, but I don't think so. We'll see. Thank you, Lisa. Karen Horvath. Hi, Aaron. This is my first super chat here. You all are doing a fabulous job exposing the horrors of this evil cult. Thank you for all you are doing. Thank you, Karen, very, very much. And thank you for the super chat. All right, let's see. How far behind the chat am I right now? Oh, only 7 minutes. Not bad. Okay, Lisa Floyd. Also, be careful about Venmo when tax time comes. Oh, yeah. Any revenue that comes in from any platform needs to be treated appropriately for tax purposes. So no question about that. Marjan Kekavusi. Kekavusi. Hi, everyone. Please hit the like button. Love Goldie. Yes. Okay, Crafting Emily. My uncle is licensed in California. He is the brother who had the picture of the staring now Adele Dazeem Broadway that I sent you. Oh, hold on now. My uncle is licensed in California. He is the brother who had the picture of the staring now Adele Dazeem Broadway that I sent you. I have to think there's some typos in this sentence, Emily. I have to think there's some typos here because I understand most of what you said, but not all of it. But anyway, thank you for another super chat. Okay, Shelly Netzer Edgerton. The lawsuit has to be served in the state jurisdiction the defendant is in. Wow. So he would have to serve me over there in Florida. Very interesting. Okay, scrolling through. Penko, was Leah prevented from attending this afternoon? No, not at all. Leah was there all day today, and she'll be there tomorrow as well. and she'll be there when Claire is there testifying as well. I mean, Leah's basically going to be in court all week. So no, Leah was not prevented from doing anything. And even today, again, they did try to say that they might call Leah as a witness. The defense is saying they might call Leah as a witness. And I think I think I know why. I think I know why, but I won't say it just now because I'm not sure. I don't want to mess anything up. Okay. Janet, Lady Santana. If able to attend court, other than sitting in the correct section, is there another way to show support of the Jane Does? Nope. Just showing up. Just showing up and being there. That's all you got to do. There's no other way. Thank you, Janet. Michael Mills, keep up the good work. Thank you, Michael Mills. I'm going to do my best. Rexican Messler, I love it. $10. Dude, calm down on the drama. Poker faces. Ain't no drama. Ain't no drama. It wouldn't have been any drama at all. If there hadn't accidentally been a few jurors still straggling, it wouldn't even have come up at all. But yeah, you know, by the way, I have to stress, my calling out the Reverend wasn't even for, it wasn't like, oh, you're doing Scientology's dirty work. That's actually not what I was in the moment scolding him for. I was actually scolding him for lying to the judge. I was like, oh, here I was taking your word for it. You're literally here with Scientology's hate blogger and you lied to the judge. That's actually what I wasn't like, how could you do Scientology's dirty work for them? That wasn't it at all. I was actually upbraiding him for having lied to the judge. Okay, thank you, Rexican Messler. 86 GOP. It is pronounced Felipe's. And although I've never tried it, I'm told the double dips are the best. Felipe's. But you see, someone go, you are saying Felipe's, right? Not Felipe's. It's Felipe's. It's not, but not, yeah, as contrasted with Philippe's. So it's Felipe's. I mean, I'm going with Felipe's because it sounds right. It just feels right, you guys. Okay, Rusty again. Julian Schwartz should be in jail. Absolutely. I wonder if he's out of the country right now. I have it on good authority. He's not out of the country right now. And we, I shouldn't say too much. All right. Gleb Perch. Do you remember me? I told you I liked your podcast. Oh, Gleb, you from the courtroom. Absolutely. I do remember you. I'm assuming Gleb Perch is not your real name, but yeah. And there was another guy. Oh, actually, Gleb. Well, two people said that to me in the courtroom today. Gleb, are you the one who said it to me in the hallway, or are you the one who said it in the courtroom as you walked by? Because there was two people today. Anyway, awesome to see you, Gleb. And thank you for the thank you. Or thank you for the compliment, whatever it was. Okay, I'm really struggling with the scrolling here on this pad. It's like my fingers are all like sweaty or something. Okay, Abigail. I promised I was going to remember how to say your name. Suinat. I remember it ended in a hard T. No, Marty Rathbun was what I meant. Interesting. Unfortunately, Abigail, I now have no recollection of what your previous comment was. So I apologize for that. Okay. Tamara says dinner fund. Well, thank you very much, Tamara. I appreciate it. Janet says also, as a hardcore I Love Lucy fan, I knew I had heard Zorch before on one of the recent streams, season 1, episode 16. Yeah, when Scientology auditors are doing their training drills on how to operate the e-meter, there's a list of just weird random things that you're supposed to say at various times. And one of them is, I have a pain in my Zorch. So there you go. Oh, and so season 1, episode 16 of I Love Lucy, they also say Zorch. That's interesting. I'll have to check that out. Okay, it's Marcus, 93. Do you think Scientology sends private investigators to spy on the judges? I don't think so, because the judge is not the one who determines the outcome of the case. I think it would just be a total waste of resources. I just don't think that they do. And I think I've heard Mike also say, nah, not really. Now, historically speaking, the answer has been yes. They've done it before. They've blackmailed judges. And actually, that's something we should talk about the next time we do a chat with Mike as well. Because I'd like to understand what's the difference. What's the difference between in those cases where Scientology did go after judges and a case like this where they wouldn't bother? I think I know what the difference is, but it'd be more interesting to hear Mike fully explain it. Tony A. Are Scientologists used to lying, or is it something they get training on? Oh, they're very much used to lying to protect Scientology. It's a real contradiction because generally speaking, a Scientologist would tell you, oh, Scientology is all about being ethical, and the most ethical beings on the planet are the Scientologists. And you're like, well, yeah. And the courts have already ruled that it is known Scientologists will blatantly lie under oath. Like, courts have made statements about this. So the answer is yes, they're very used to lying. Number 5 and letter A, from Louisiana, got family into SPTV. Any Louisiana Scientology stories? Thanks for covering the trial. I Facebook stalk the Baton Rouge and New Orleans missions narking on people. There are Louisiana Scientology stories on my channel. I did an interview with, I'm going to totally go blank on the name right now, of course. But if I remember it afterwards, I'll maybe put it in the description. There's an interview that I did with actually 2 different people who worked for Scientology in Louisiana. And for the life of me, I'm just going to go blank on the names right now. But they're there. I promise you they're there. And again, if I remember, I'll go back and I'll put a link in the description to that. Okay, let's see. Going down, guys. Going down. 4,200 people watching, 2.3 thousand likes. Y'all can do it. Click the like button. 2,500 likes is actually quite a lot of likes. But we have 4,200 people watching. Guys, if you're watching, it's free. It's free and easy. Just go click that like button. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, guys. Okay, Jamin Etling says, can't wait to see what shenanigans they try with Claire. She will use a bullhorn and spotlight to call them out. God, I cannot wait for Claire to get on the stand. I'm so excited. So excited I'm going to be there for it. Sieglin, I remember when Scientology would place OTs in the foremost rows of the courtroom so that their mere intention could influence the outcome. Wow. Like they can divert actual tornadoes. Do they still do that? Well, Sieglin, one of the reasons it's hard to say that whether they do or don't, they're certainly not doing it in this trial. Scientology has not actually been on trial in a very long time because they settle. They settle before they'll get into court these days. They don't take anything to trial. They will settle. And if something is going to go to trial, they'll fight it, delay, and they will settle on the last day. So my answer, I want to say they don't still do that because they've realized that if they get that far, like actually like trial time, they've already lost. Scientology has never won a jury trial in its history. Did you guys know that? That is a fact. Scientology has never won a jury trial. And that is why they will now pay massive amounts of money to settle before they will permit themselves to actually start, trial. Okay. Last name, Siwanat. Yes. Okay. Siwanat. I said I would remember that, but it's actually hard to remember because your name looks nothing like that. Siwanat. It looks nothing like that. Sonoff. Okay. Yeah. No wonder I was confused. Siwanat. I'm going to try to remember. Leah posted an Anderson Cooper video where Marty Rathbun was representing former Scientologists. It was so cringe. Oh, yes. Now I know what you're talking about. Abigail Siwanat. Thank you. Okay, guys, we're almost totally caught up here. We're getting very, very close. Dr. Who Heather. How many more witnesses are left approximately? You are great. Thank you very much. Okay, Jane Doe 1's got to finish. Then Claire. Then there's going to be a toxicology expert. Then there's going to be Kathy from Canada. Then Kathy's husband. And gosh, who else? There's some other people that the defense might call, but probably won't. Like, for example, Claire's stepfather is allegedly possibly going to be called as an expert witness for the defense. It would be suicide to this case for the defense to call Claire's stepfather, Hugh Witt, to the stand. I mean, there's no way they're going to do it. So, but even without Hugh, there's about 5 more that we have to go. So there you go. Destiny Salazar getting caught up on 1.5 speed. Thank you for being there and reporting on a severely unreported yet important case. Well, awesome, Destiny. I'm a big fan to listening to SPTV on 2x speed, but I think I actually tend to talk faster than the other SPTV crew. So I wonder if listening to me talking on 2x speed is a little bit too much. It's perfect for when I listen to Mike and Mark and Claire and Amy on 2x speed. It is so much fun. It is so funny. Okay, so LaRourke, do you think Masterson secretly watches you? It's got to be tempting. Yes, I do. I do think he does, and he's allowed to. I mean, from the court's perspective, he's allowed to, because he's not the jurors. You were asking. It's got to be tempting. Sorry, I was thinking with jurors aren't allowed. Like jurors would get in trouble for watching my videos. They're not allowed to. Legally speaking, Danny's allowed to. I believe Danny reads all of the coverage about this trial and watches and listens to it. I do. I mean, what's he going to get in trouble with Scientology? Like, he's going to get in trouble? He's already on trial for rape. Like, they're going to be like, how dare you watch those videos talking about your trial? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he does. Okay, Mama83, do you think Julian will get RPF'd for all of the flaps due to the trial? No, I do not. Or no, because he was acting in line with church policy. Oh, yeah, no. He's not just acting in line with church policy. He's acting under direct orders from David Miscavige and the Office of Special Affairs. Julian Schwartz is not some rogue Sea Org member who's out there creating flaps. Julian Schwartz is trusted by David Miscavige to help squash or quash all these flaps. That's why he's involved in all these things, because he is so trusted. So yeah, he ain't getting RPF. They got to keep Julian. They got to play nice with Julian. Yeah, they got to play nice with Julian. Okay, Marilyn Honig. Hey, Aaron, you've converted my hubby into a full-on SP. He watches with me every night. His name is Duncan. Well, congratulations, Duncan. Welcome to the SPTV crew. And that's awesome. And one of these days, it'll be your birthday, and I'll say, happy birthday, Duncan. But for now, it's just, hi, Duncan, and welcome, and thanks for watching. And thank you, Marilyn, for everything you do and all your awesome baby Xenus and Xeno outfits and Duke of Chug outfits and all that stuff. So thank you so much. A running bet says, I watched you on 2x speed. It is relaxing. Well, there you go. Maybe I'll have to listen to myself on 2x speed just to get a sense of how that sounds. But good. I'm glad it works. Okay, Smile and Nod from Felipe's website. How is the name Felipe pronounced? The French pronunciation is Philippe's. Well, shit. Now you're gone and messed it all up. Now it's Philippe's. So, oh, man. Okay, well, actually, I guess you just saved me some embarrassment, because now I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say Philippe's, and they'll think this guy really knows his business. He might know a thing or two about Scientology, but he really knows about those French dip sandwiches at Philippe's. I really hope they're open. Now I'm going to be so sad if we've been talking about Philippe's for the whole stream and like they closed at 6 or something like that. Wow, guys, we did it. We did it. Oh my God, we went an entire hour. That's incredible. I was only planning on doing about 15, 20 minutes. And okay, Tony wants to know, have you tried In-N-Out yet? Nope, but it's going to be after Philippe's. Maybe I'll just do a twofer. Go to Philippe's, get a sandwich, stop by In-N-Out, have a little thing there. Oh, I renamed you the SP Honey Badger. I actually really, really like that name. I really like that name. Brett Gray says, there's maybe never been a more credible witness than Claire. You just can't listen to her and think she's making up her story. What a freaking sincere woman will be cheering her on. Absolutely, you guys. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop it there. Oops, I hid some stuff. How do I do this? Thank you for watching, guys. Tomorrow's day 7. With a little bit of luck, guys, I'll tell you something. Claire's on a plane to LA right now. With a little bit of luck, we're going to get some Claire Headley tomorrow. So stay tuned, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks to everyone who watches until the very end. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe